What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about 200% leader skills yet again. So I decided to do, a little bit of work on the background here, and I culminated this list of every single unit in the game that does not yet have a 200% leader skill. Meaning, like, they don't fall on the 200% portion of any leader skill in the game. So it's actually, honestly, it's surprisingly few units. I'm actually kind of curious about the total number here. So let's see, we've got like 7 across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. So there's 49 on this first page, and then there's only one other page here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 42 plus 49 is 91. Yeah, 91. So there's 91 TURs and LRs in the game that don't have 200% leads yet. So I did just kind of want to do a little bit of a deep dive on this list. I think the first most important thing to point out here is that there really aren't any, like, S-tier units on this list. They've pretty much gotten leader skills for all of the relevant units in the game. For the most part, there are a few exceptions here. One of the most glaring exceptions is obviously the brand new Super Boo. I think it's so ridiculous that he doesn't have a 200% leader. Like, what were they thinking releasing this guy? It wasn't his time. It really wasn't. I think that they should have done like a tech LR hit in his place. Or not tech, but just, an LR hit in his place to go alongside the Kale team. But anyway, that's just me. But yeah, like, a lot of the other units in here are kind of fodder. Like, but some of them it would be nice if they had a place to run them at 200%. One of the biggest things that we're looking at here is, like, the Goku Black and Zamasu cards. A lot of those cards are in here, and do not have proper leads, so it's very unfortunate. There are some other villain type cards like Babidi and Dabura, who don't as well, so we see them very commonly throughout here, as well as a lot of the Shadow Dragons, Shenrons and stuff. And then there's a few random stragglers, I suppose, like Chilai and Jocko and stuff. Some other random, helpful side units that aren't, like, necessarily the big heavy hitters on the team. So what I've done here is I pulled a few categories together that I think would be really, really good additions to the game. So, these are basically categories that I hope that Dokkan implements soon in the future, in the very, very near future, in order to give a large majority of these cards here their first 200% leader skill. Because I think it's important that every single unit in the game be covered by a 200% leader. And I remember when, the category meta first became a thing, people had lists like this breaking down which units didn't yet have categories. So, this is just interesting that we're yet again experiencing that in the game, because we had that whole flush through again when 170 leads became a thing. And then it was how many units don't have a 170 lead yet, right? So here we are again with the 200% leads. Before I jump in and show you the categories and break them down specifically, I want to show you how I made this list, how I ended up putting this together. So there's actually a fun 200% leader skill tool on this website. I actually made a previous 200% team video like a week or two ago that you can go and check out. Just talking about some of the functions that I wish that Dokkan would add for quality of life, as far as, being able to search for units that are on 200% leader skills, just to make team building a little bit easier in-game itself. And I resorted to this tool, showing that this is pretty much the easiest way that we had to create 200% leader skills, right? So basically what you have here is a list of every single category in the game, and then an additional list of every single category in the game. So you could select whatever, categories you want on here, and then, cross-reference them with, like, this category. Oh, we picked the same one twice. With, like, this category, and then you can search, and it'll show you which units are on that, on that 200%, which obviously I picked bad categories, because there's none, but, you get the idea here. So, I was saying that this is even still a little bit tedious, right? But since then, they have updated this website. There's another little patch in here where now there's a list of every single 200% lead in the game. So now you can just click this and be like, okay, I want to see Gamma 1's 200% lead. So then it'll automatically fill in all of Gamma 1's leader skills here, and then you can search, and then these are all of the cards that are on Gamma 1's 200%. So basically what I did was I used this. So there's also a box feature on this website where you can basically just manually fill out a box. That's why it says 55% below all these units. So I basically added every single unit in the game into my box. And then what I did in another tab was I would look up the 200% leader skills one by one, and then I would just go delete all the cards out of there if they were on a leader skill. And obviously there were tons and tons of repeats, but eventually we got through all of it. And then this is what we were left with. So yeah, 91 units, not too bad at all. So yeah, these are the categories that I think would be the best for them to add as 200% options coming up. So the biggest, most obvious, most glaring one is Worldwide Chaos. This absolutely needs a 200%. Check out all of these units that they would give their very first 200% to. Most namely, of course, the brand new, Majin Buu. So I'm really hoping that we see something like this around Tanabata. But I know there's also big talk for Tanabata coming up that it's going to be something fusion related, something we're getting a Gogeta or Vegito. Like, it's been too long, right? We can just feel it. But I'm hoping for like some type of part 2 Carnival LR, or even if we have to wait until the worldwide download celebration happens. I am really hoping that we come in with a strong Worldwide Chaos 200% lead. That could be very good here. So quickly, we'll just go through these units. It's, again, a lot of Boos. We've got some Demon King Piccolos here. We also have all of the Goku Black and Zamasu cards, which is a huge W, right? Yeah, we have Demon King Piccolo is on here. Again, Rose, Zamasu, Goku Black, Boo cards. This Boo and... Interesting, Babidi and Majin Buu is here because the solo Babidi cards wouldn't be on here. I think. Yeah, the Boo is definitely what does it. Interesting, but yeah. So basically, those, to give you just there, those are the characters that would be getting those 200% leads. But that's a big chunk of the strongest villain cards in the game that don't yet have those leader skills. So Worldwide Chaos would definitely be a very good one. So now, kind of a shoot off of that, somewhat of a subcategory, you could say, would be Inhuman Deeds. I think this could be another one that they could definitely add if they didn't want to blow their load with a Worldwide Chaos category and give us all of that awesome stuff at once. Then Inhuman Deeds could definitely be a good option as well. You're going to get a lot of crossover with some of the similar characters. Here you're able to add in Babidis and Deborahs, and then you take out Rosé. And you take out Demon King Piccolo, I believe, but you still do get all the Goku Black cards, and then you're adding in Sin Shenron as well as, I believe, Omega? Oh, well, Omega already has 200% leader skills, so we wouldn't have to worry about him. But yeah, so Sin Shenrons would be added onto there as well. So yeah, this could be a very decent... Oh, I guess this Rosé... Oh, yeah, the Rosés are here because the Goku Blacks are. It's just the Zamasus that aren't. So yeah, it's kind of not quite as good as Worldwide Chaos, but it's kind of a different variation. You get a few extra units, that you don't on that one, but there is obviously more on Worldwide Chaos overall. So another really widespread one is Realm of Gods. Realm of Gods could definitely get some updates, because, this is going to be big for both Super type and Extreme type units, because there's kind of a collaboration going on here, whereas the first two were, mainly villain categories. So yeah, Realm of Gods, obviously you're still going to have all the Goku Blacks and Zamasus, but now you're going to be adding in all the Whis, all the Beerus's. I believe all the standalone Beerus's are already there, but any of the Beerus cards that also have Whis in them, or the standalone Whis cards, are going to be on here, because none of them have 200% leads. And then the Kais, there's a lot of Kai cards, West Supreme Kai, and I believe there's a few other ones in here. Supreme Kai and Kibito. The Angels are in here. So you got Vados. We already mentioned Whis. The Monica Beerus, Supreme Kai's in here. Even Jiren. Like, hello, Jiren. What's up? Kind of a random one there. But yeah, then all these Goku Black and Zamasu cards as well as Anine. Technically, she counts. Yeah, she is on Realm of Gods there. So, yeah, lots of good units on Realm of Gods. They could definitely give us that. I think that would be so sick if between Tanabata and Worldwide Download Celebration, we saw a Realm of Gods. Like, I could definitely see Realm of Gods being a 200% lead in Tanabata if they decide to give us, like, a blue fusion, right? Could happen. And then Worldwide Chaos potentially for Worldwide Download Celebration. I think that would be absolutely the best case scenario. So aside from that, we've also got Fusion, a bit of a smaller one, not quite as many units going on here, but I did notice there were quite a few here, so it was kind of funky. It seemed like a decent pick here. So you have the Gotenks Failure Super Strike cards. We've got all of the Fusion crossover units. Well, not all, but you know, a good chunk of them, because a lot of them don't yet have their own 200% leads there. The free-to-play Veku's in here, Gotenks and Ghost are in here, some more Dragon Ball Fusions cards as well. Yeah, so just some funky units that don't have, you know, too many other categories. Some of them definitely could benefit from a 200% lead there. Okay, so next up, I decided to include Universe Survival Saga. Now, I was actually pleased and pleasantly surprised to see that there are very few here. As you can see, there's only like, what, 7 or 8? There's 8 here. I thought that there would have been way more, since we haven't really touched the Universe Survival Saga with 200% leads, right? But I do think that the Dokkan Fest Kale did a good number on the amount of USS category units that, got a 200% lead because of her having... So basically all of Universe 6 got 200% buffs, right? Because it's her... 170 lead is to Universe 6, and then she has the 200% lead to Universe Survival Saga. So any of the Universe 6 units got the buffs, but there are quite a few other ones here. It's a lot of the Universe 11 stuff you'll see that doesn't have it yet. So yeah, all these guys, Bergamo as well, some of the stragglers. So yeah, Universe 11, Bergamo. Okay, this is a weird one, a funky one, because it's a combination of Universe 6 and 7, right? So we would need the actual Universe Survival Saga category boost there for them. Team Universe 7 here. Goku Frieza, which this one was actually surprising to me. I had to step back for a moment and go like, oh crap, yeah, this unit actually doesn't have a 200% lead, which, dang, that just kind of sucks. This is very interesting. And then Kawaii here. So yeah, definitely could use some stuff, and then obviously it goes without saying, any of these categories, these are all very, very lackluster categories, so these would definitely, a boost for these categories would definitely help all the units we've seen, as well as a lot of units that are already in-game that have different 200% lead, teams, but definitely could still benefit from these teams being in there. And then the last one here is Siblings Bond. So this was a bit of a different one. It's kind of a hybrid of some of the others, because you're going to have the Beerus and Whis cards, as well as the Tapions. So there's Tapion and Minosha. You've got the other couple Tapions in here, and then all the Dabura cards as well. Oh yeah, I suppose you do get Vados in there as well, because of her being an angel. And then, as we saw, Bergamo was in there as well. So yeah, this is another decent one that they could do. So yeah, I would say mark these 6 right here. I would expect to see some categories of these 6 being made available as 200% categories. There were a few honorable mentions that I wanted to note. I didn't think that they were relevant enough for me to actually go and do the work of separating out the units like I did here. But one of the honorable mentions was Giant Form. Because there are actually quite a few Giant Form units. I believe there's like a Demon King Piccolo in here. He might be on the other page. What am I thinking of? Is he on Giant? No, he's not. He's not. I swear there were a few Giants in here. Now I can't think of them. Now that maybe I should have set aside the tag. Oh, okay. One of them was Tapion, because he has the Tapion Giant Form, which obviously he's on Siblings Bond too, but again, it's just a different one. So Tapion, Bergamo is on Giant Form. I believe Anine is Giant Form as well. I want to say there was 1 or 2 more in here. I guess you just have to take my word for it. I think there was at least 1 more. Is Hachiak on Giant Form? I think he is. Yeah, Hachiak is on Giant Form. So yeah, there are a few units that could benefit from a Giant Form buff here. There wouldn't be an insane amount. Also, fun fact, I found out here that while I was looking through these, I found out the Para Para brothers are not on Siblings Bond. So I thought that was kind of funny. I put them on there originally, and then I was like, oh, they're not even on the category. Interesting. And okay, so the last honorable mention that I wanted to point out here would be join forces. Can you imagine if there was some type of, join forces 200% that allowed us to get a bunch of these cards? I suppose it is a little bit funky. All of the, I guess I do need to put a bit of a disclaimer on this, right? Because, okay, if they added a unit that had a 200% lead of join forces, not necessarily just like outright 200%, but 170 of some other stuff, and then the 200% portion would be join forces, right? I simply suggest that as a good idea because there are so many units to choose from that have join forces on the card, so it's likely that a lot of these units would get picked. Not necessarily that if they added a Worldwide Chaos 200% lead, that all of these units would be on it. Because it's possible that, again, if there was a different 170 lead, like, let's say, this would be a good one, right? Do Inhuman Deeds as part of the 170% lead, and then add Worldwide Chaos as the 200% portion. That way, all of these units from Inhuman Deeds, who most of which are on Worldwide Chaos as well, would then be boosted up to this. And then a few of these units that don't fall on Inhuman Deeds, maybe just wouldn't make the category or something. I suppose they could just add something else like Artificial Life Forms, or that would actually be that leader skill would go insane. 170% to Artificial Life Forms and Inhuman Deeds, and then the 200% portion to Worldwide Chaos. If they make that into a unit, that is my ideal unit. I want to see that come to the game immediately. Please, that would be so awesome. Yeah, so I think that's about everything that I have for you guys here. That was pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. This was just kind of the introductory version of this video. I think what I'm going to do every time a new 200% leader comes out is, we'll pull them up on camera here, and then we'll compare them to the list of units we've got here, and we'll check off any of the new units that they pulled from the pool of units that have never gotten a 200% lead, and then we'll celebrate seeing any units get their 200% lead for the first time. I think that's a really important thing to note, right? Because there are quite a few really, really strong cards in the game that it's worth noting you just don't have the option to use them at their potential, quote-unquote maximum capacity, because they can't access that 200 portion, right? For instance, like, I'm looking at these two right here. Goku Black and Zamasu, this is still an amazing LR. Like, they were ridiculous when they Easy Aid, and they're still pretty good now. Imagine if they got that extra support from a better leader skill, this would then become a meta unit again, and I think it's worth knowing that, right? So I do like that we have this little sheet to help us keep track now, so that we'll know exactly when these things happen, and when certain units, get these amazing boosts that we want for them. So yeah, look forward to another update on this, on this list when a new 200% lead comes out. I believe the next one should be for the Tanabata celebration coming up on JP in just a couple weeks. So that's going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, then consider being a part of the Toxic Tribe with a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace!